Frank Lampard, manager who struggled at Chelsea, club who do well in the Championship and struggle in the Premier League. Put the two together, and what do you get? You get Frank Lampard at Norwich. This is what the rumour mill is pulling together, and it's looking stronger and stronger. However, with Steven Gerrard moving to Aston Villa, the Rangers job has opened up, so maybe we see Frank Lampard go up there, but who knows, maybe that's a video for another day. But today we're going to be looking at Frank Lampard at Norwich and see how the game predicts he's going to get on. Lampard's managerial spell, probably best known for going into Chelsea, not doing a very good job, people would tell you. He did, in my opinion, look like he was starting to get something going with the youth side during their transfer embargo season. However, then once the transfer embargo was over, it looked like he was kind of struggling to get the results that he wanted. So Frank has a total of 1.86 points per game, including this derby and both seasons at Chelsea, with a win ratio of 53%, scoring 2.14 goals per match, which is pretty good. Derby alone, he was on 1.64 points per match. Chelsea, 19-10-20 season, they had 1.74 points per match, so an improvement from Derby. And the second season he did decline, however, to 1.53 points per match. So you can see why he was probably let go from Chelsea. A club that want to be title challengers, 1.53 is just not good enough to win yourself the title. So let's jump into Football Manager and see how the season predicts him getting on. So we have Frank Lampard here in his managerial sort of attributes. Ones that stand out to me: determination of 18. They really think Frank Lampard is going to be determined. He's all about going forward, pushing it, so he has what it takes to push his team on and drive to get results. Level of discipline's 12, so that's previously lower than Steven Gerrard's. Motivation 15, people management 14, judging player ability 12, and judging player potential 16. So suggesting that he's a lot better at judging players that are going to be good than judging the players that are good to me. 16 working with youngsters, so will we see Billy Gilmore come through? Who knows? You'd like to think so, especially if he's good at working with that young team, then he's going to bring those players through. And I think that really is backed up by his season that he was at Chelsea. When he did have that transfer embargo, he really did bring through a lot of the youth academy and sort of done a lot better with them. Frank Lampard's Norwich side, 4-2-3-1. Got Krul, Aarons, Kabak, Gibson, Giannoulis, Norman, McLean, Cantwell, Dowell, Rupp and Rashiska up top. They must have some injuries and people maybe on holiday. Let's have a look. Not really what I would have thought I would have seen there. Billy Gilmore on the bench. Obviously, Billy Gilmore is a player that Frank Lampard will know very well from his time at Chelsea. I'd fancy him to make quite a few appearances in real life. If he doesn't in the game, I can kind of understand that because obviously it lacks that aspect. But I would very much expect if Frank Lampard ends up at Norwich to see Billy Gilmore involved in the squad a lot more. Very impressive Scottish talent coming through, and I think he would get game time under Lampard at least. So that's how they set them to line up. Let's have a look at their schedule here and see how they're going on. So fantastic start to the friendlies. They start with Newcastle, Burnley and Southampton, and then on to Steven Gerrard's Villa, which I will say this has been recorded at the same time as Steven Gerrard just to cut myself some time, so I need to simulate two different seasons. So that's one that I'm definitely going to be looking out for when we come back to see how they get on against each other. Both midfield maestros that always get compared against each other, how will they compare as managers when they finally get the chance to go head to head? This is what I'm looking forward to. So yeah, let's jump forward to Christmas time, I suppose, and see what's going on. Right, so we have made it to February 1st, and Frank Lampard is still in a job, which is perfect. Let's have a look. If we set the date here, see who has left so far. So they have pretty much just loaned quite a few people out here. No real first teamers. Maybe Kenny McLean is a little bit of a surprise for me, but the rest of them all out on loan. Just mostly a few Scottish clubs that actually are both Motherwell, Wraith. Let's see who they have brought in. Remy Cabella from Krasnodar, Sydney, and a free transfer, always good. Noah Okfar for 5.5 million. So they're bringing in an attacking mid left. I should have put attributes on, but I didn't. My bad on that one. John Smith from Reading, and that's it. So they've brought in 4 people. Let's have a look at how they are doing. Head to their tactics first. They're still playing in a 3-1. Pookie up front, Rashiska, Cantwell, Swift, Gilmore, Norman. Good to see young Billy Gilmore is in there. If we'd now jump to the schedules, oh my lord. So really poor, really poor here. Lost to Newcastle, lost to Burnley, beating Southampton 3-1's good. That first game against Steven Gerrard, they does lose 2-0. 1-0 loss to Brentford, a 2-1 loss to City in the Carabao Cup, not terrible. 1-0 to Leicester's not too bad. A 1-0 to Arsenal, not really that bad either. 2-1 to Everton, 2-0 to City, 2-0 to Chelsea. 2-2 draw with Leeds, and then he goes on a little run here with Watford 1-0 and Palace 1-0. Who's on the score sheet here? Rashiska and Max Aaron's getting a 9.0 rating. Now that's impressive. Beating Wolves, Timu Puckey and Grant Hanley coming on and getting the goals in. A draw against West Ham's pretty good. Defeat to Tottenham, Liverpool, Man United. That's a very tough run straight there. And then picking points up against Brighton, a draw with Burnley, beating Newcastle. So he's turned that start of the season around here a little bit, and then drawing to Cardiff, beating them in the second leg, drawing to Southampton. However, previously losing to Villa and Leicester in the sort of replays there. So, I mean, not really the best. If we now go to overview, let's have a look at the profile. So, Frank Lampard is still there. The captain's Grant Hanley. Let's go competitions, senior squad, see how they're doing. So, they're in the fourth round of the FA Cup against Tottenham. As we said, knocked out in the third round by Man City. And currently sitting 19th, fighting the relegation battle as they are in real life. And as you probably expect them to do, especially with those signings, they've not made any landmark signings that you expect come in it completely change the game for them. But it's going to be an interesting second half of the season when we come back and check on how they're doing. So yeah, let's go. Now here we have Frank Lampard's second half of the season from February onwards. It really did not get much better for him. Losing to Tottenham in the FA Cup fourth round. Lost to Brentford, Arsenal, drawn to City and Everton and Chelsea in the same month is very strong. However, then just loss after loss after loss. Watford, Leeds, Palace, Wolves, West Ham, Tottenham, Man United and Liverpool in the final day of the season. Really poor form, which I believe will have seen them be relegated. 19th position on 26 points. Comfortably relegated they are. Kind of expected. But at the same time, maybe I would have thought Frank Lampard could have done a little bit better than Norwich usually do. But there we have it. Frank Lampard is not going to be successful at keeping Norwich up in the Premiership. Will he be successful getting them back up next year? Who knows? We can jump back next season and find out if Football Manager thinks he's going to get back. Leave a like on the video and let me know in the comments if you want to see that. If Frank Lampard has it in him to rebuild Norwich and get them back to the Premier League like they always seem to do. So yeah, thanks for watching and I'll see you next time. So before you run off, make sure to click on the left or the right hand side of the screen to watch my previous video, which was Gerrard at Aston Villa. Or why not click subscribe, which is on my face. You know it's right. You've enjoyed the video. Make sure to subscribe, you know. Hit a like on the video and let me know if you would like to see Lampard at Norwich's second season to see if he can get them promoted or if he's just going to be stuck in a lull in the Championship. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next time.